Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into some kind of sensitive waters today.
Yeah, this one is a bit of a minefield.
Exactly. We're talking clothes, body mods, and the whole debate around self-expression versus societal norms. Buckle up.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack here.
You guys wanted us to take a look at this conversation between iNabber, Fraser McDonald,
Right.
and Gabbie Hanna, who, well, let's just say she's not afraid to stir the pot, right?
Definitely not. And they're going at it over whether conservative ideology, especially when it comes to how women present themselves, is, well, just plain outdated and bad.
Oh, all right. So iNabber is coming at this from the angle that criticizing women for, say, wearing revealing clothes or getting a nipple piercing,
Right.
that it's kind of disrespectful, especially since, guys don't really get the same heat for similar choices.
Yeah, I think he's drawing a line to, like, the historical context of women's bodies being, well, kind of policed and sexualized.
Yeah. Okay, I get that history is important, but doesn't that also take away some of the, individual responsibility for choices? I mean, Gabbie Hanna could argue that women today have more agency than, well, ever before.
Sure. And that's kind of her whole thing, right? She's against, overly revealing outfits and those body modifications, nipple piercings and such.
Right, got it.
She's pointing out the level of exposure, basically. And it's interesting because when we say conservative ideology here, we're often talking about views that put a lot of emphasis on modesty, sticking to traditional gender roles.
Okay.
And, maybe leaning more on community standards rather than everyone just doing their own thing.
So, less about that radical individualism.
Exactly. And it makes you think, right? iNabber might agree with Hanna on some level, but he still questions if judging these choices comes from the same societal norms that he says have already sexualized women's bodies. It's like a chicken or the egg situation almost.
Right. So even if a woman is choosing to wear revealing clothes, it might not be to challenge those norms.
Yeah. And that's where it gets even more complicated. The source points out that not all men are contributing to these standards, and not all women are making these choices to be rebellious.
I mean, people have different reasons for what they wear, right? It's not always some big statement.
Exactly. Some people want attention, some want to express themselves, some just like how it looks. It makes you wonder if we're sometimes jumping to conclusions, assuming there's rebellion when maybe there isn't.
So much to think about. Okay, so the big question, is it always wrong, misogynistic, to comment on someone's, say, revealing outfit? And does this conservative view, with its emphasis on modesty, offer any good points about personal responsibility?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And I think the real takeaway here is that it's not so black and white. Not every critique is coming from a bad place. And even if you don't fully agree with conservative viewpoints, they can sometimes bring up valid points about, well, the consequences of our choices, whether we meant them that way or not.
So how should we, the listeners, make sense of all of this?
If we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it's a push to be better critical thinkers, right? Why do we react a certain way to how someone expresses themselves? We should remember the historical context, but also recognize that people have the agency to make their own choices today.
Absolutely. All right, before we wrap up, we want to leave you with this thought. If societal norms really do shape how we express ourselves, how do we make choices that feel true to us while also respecting all the different views out there? It's something to really think about.
Definitely food for thought. And that's it for this deep dive. Catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.